All right, let's get started. Let's see. Turn the old camera on. Everybody hear me okay? Cool. Right. Good to see everybody here. Those of you who don't know me, there it is on the screen. So we'll start with the old disclaimer. As with all stuff wealth builders, of course, this is about education, so nothing should ever be seen as advice or a recommendation. No broker dealers, investment advisors here. Of course, any trades we talk about should always be considered as non-funded since it is all about education. Trading involves risk, obviously, so we want to try and mitigate that as much as we possibly can. And Freedom Management Partners personnel are not subject to trading restrictions. All right, what's on the calendar? Of course, we got pop core training tonight, excuse me, with Rob. Next iteration of that, so that'll be good. Of course, on Mondays, we've got our check-in with Inner Circle with me and Amelia and all the crew. Next one is the 19th, and then we've also got our monthly coming up with Rob on the 22nd, which is next Thursday at 8. Tuesdays, we've got Mastermind. Next one is the 20th at 8 o'clock. So that's going to be good. And then week after next, we've got the next Monster Market Movers with Rob on the 28th at 8 and Trading You on the 29th at 8. I believe that's Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah, that's Wednesday and Thursday. Of course, don't forget the 26th is Memorial Day, so all things trading will be closed. Let's see. Of course, we got our free stuff, Power Hour on Mondays, Trading Coaches Playbook here on Fridays, and our what I like to call our greatest hits, Pop, E-Mini Think Tank, and Covered Call Explorer with yours truly. And not to be forgotten, all the social media platforms with the cool free stuff. So definitely go check that stuff out. It's all good. Trading like a boss is kind of a good place to start. And so there you go. Let's see. What shall we start with? Well, let's take a little bit of a review and take a look at just in general the S&P and what it's done. Of course, take a much bigger picture. And yes, my charts look just like Rob's with all the Fibonacci's on them. We got the big run up and then the run down and the run back up. So we'll zoom that back in so we can kind of see what we're doing. Of course, we had this big run down, the big collapse from all the tariff hoogamaloo. And now we've got another run up, recovering from that, hearing good news about trade deals and paused tariffs and the like. Of course, we had a little bit of a doji day, little pause on Wednesday. Curious to see if we'll see another pause today, since yesterday, in relative to the week, yesterday was a pretty big day, although it was a gap down and a recovery back up. So sometimes it's more difficult to know. Of course, when somebody knows exactly what's going on, please tell me. I broke my crystal ball when I moved, so some of this stuff is more difficult. But it's interesting to see, and I don't think Rob has redrawn his fibs yet. Yeah, Jennifer, that's a good point. We could very well, and I am definitely in the same school with Tony. I'm a little bit bearish simply because the economy is not that great. It's not bad, but it's not that great. So, there's not a lot underneath this stuff. As I was saying, I don't think Rob's redrawn the fibs yet. I do a little cheat with my fibs. I do it in a line chart, and I saw this V right here, and I thought, well, that's good. So I redrew them. Now, when you look at them, they're kind of small, they're kind of tight. So I reserve the right to redraw my fibs after it comes back up here and does another V, because for those of you that know anything about drawing fibs, this little hiccup, if it lands in between the point 0.5 and the 0.618, that's okay, as long as it's not too long. So this one's not that bad. So we might go on up in here and then roll over again. And then that might be exactly what you're talking about, Jennifer, of a little bit of a retracement from this big run up. But we'll see. It's hard to tell. It's even harder to tell because of the environment we're in. Something I've taught about before. I thought about talking today. Uh, Brenda, I'm sorry, that's as big as it'll get. My screen is maximized. Um, so I'm running this off of another computer, and so it's actually a Chrome remote desktop into it. So we kind of lost the edges here. But I can definitely do that, make it a little bit bigger so we can zoom in on what we're actually looking at. Maybe even just let's do that. So I'll make it a little bigger. Um, but yeah, with geopolitics, what it is right now, and with demographic situation globally, what it is now, we're kind of we're dealing with economics that we've never dealt with before. We don't have models for this. I follow several economists. One guy is Peter Zion, who is more about demographics and the global implications of some of he's big on geography and demographics and how that affects any given nation as well as globally. Also follow some other folks that are kind of saying the same things. It's hard to make uh, uh, predictions economically because we're kind of in an environment that we've never been in before, nationally and globally. So anyway, all that said, nice run up, some good trades to be had in here. Especially Friday on that big gap up. And then, of course, something else we always like to look at is the old VIX. Of course, we had the craziness up here. And yes, I have mine set up just like Rob's, where I've got my bottom portion is yellow, green, and red. I like it in the green because I do a lot of selling. I do diagonals in Cover Call Explorer, and we like to be able to buy and sell. We do iron condors, also buying and selling. So being, in the middle to lower green kind of makes it really good to be a buyer and a seller. When you start to get down in the yellow where we are now, it becomes a lot easier to be a seller because usually your premiums are going to be a little less costly. When you get up in here, it can be really nice to be a seller. When you get up into the red, the bottom part of the red, it can be really super nice to be a seller. As you start to move further up, it just gets crazy for everybody, and it's kind of hard to do much of anything without understanding that it's more risky. As you get up into these super volatile places like we were back in April, it's just, sometimes you might want to shrink your position sizes down because it's so risky. Other times you can make your whole year, in a couple trades. So anyway, that's kind of an overview that I like to do at the beginning of my classes of the SPX and of the VIX to just kind of give us a reset. Where do we stand? Very interested in this doji today, though. That's interesting. I got a couple of decent scalps off this morning, but they were really quick. Let's see what determines. Oh, good question, Brenda. Let's go back. So for the VIX, the yellow is 18 and below. The green is 18 to 29, and the red is everything above 29. So that's kind of, and I forget, I'm pretty sure Rob gave that to me. I think he's the one that came up with it. He definitely came up with a lot of these lines, which are kind of important levels, have been important levels historically over many, many, many years. But the zones are a little bit easier to utilize, to make use of. So anyway, let's pull this out of the way for now. And let's take a look at what I want to talk about today. And please feel free to type in your questions. And hey to everybody that I didn't say hey to at the beginning. Good to see. Good crowd. Good crowd. All right. Uh-oh. There's some of the cohorts. Hey, Will. Let's see. So today I thought I'd share with you something that I've talked about several times in Inner Circle as well as Mastermind Group. And I think it's a very important thing to understand about yourself in your life in general, but also it can help you a lot in your trading. Yeah, you did. What is a habit? So for those of you that have been in any of my classes, you know that I don't do it as much as I used to at the very beginning, but I have what I call my obligatory definitions for whatever we're talking about. So a habit is a settled tendency or usual manner of behavior, an acquired mode of behavior that has become nearly or completely involuntary. Uh, an addiction, not the greatest of habits, right? Manner of conducting oneself, lots of different ones here. A behavior pattern acquired by frequent repetition or psychological exposure that shows itself in regularly or increased facility of performance. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so it's we all know what a habit is. You know, it's something that we do over and over again, and sometimes it can become involuntary. So, habits to make and habits to break. I found this slide, gosh, it's maybe a week ago, and I haven't been able to use it yet. Wake up early. For those of you unaware, there is a thing called the 4 o'clock club or the 5 o'clock club. I'm not in that club, but I'm usually up by about 6:15, 6:20. Um, Drink water first thing. This is big. I like this. Exercise, plan your day, read, practice gratitude. All these things are really, really good. Of course, break your procrastinating. Don't compare yourself to others. Don't check your phone. Don't check your phone. Uh, it's just a distraction, you know. Oh, Kevin's in the 4 a.m. club. Look at you. Go, buddy. Um, the thing about getting up early like that is you can get so much accomplished, and usually you're up before most people, in particular, anyone that you share a residence with. So you can get a lot of things done without being interrupted. Plus, studies have shown that a lot of your facilities in your brain work better first thing in the morning. So not only are you doing work, you're doing really, really good work at whatever it is. Um, I have found that in my programming, I do really, really good work first thing in the morning. Creative stuff, a lot of times I'm doing better in the morning. More habitual things, tasks as they were, are probably left till afternoon for me. It's one of those things you kind of have to discover for yourself. So we said habits and routines. What is a routine? So a routine, a regular course of procedure, habitual or mechanical performance of an established procedure, uh, um, of related to or being in accordance with established procedure. That sounds very legal, doesn't it? I like this, of a commonplace or repetitious character. So it's more the way I look at it. Habits can become involuntary. Routines are when they become involuntary. So, yeah. So what's the difference? So the key difference I see, a habit is an action or behavior you've turned into an automatic response. Something triggers you, whether it's a notification or whatever, and you're compelled to follow it through. Whereas a habit, on the other hand, is a routine, on the other hand, is a string of habits that you create for specific parts of the day. And we'll talk about that as we get deeper into this. You know, a morning routine, an afternoon routine, an evening routine, other types of routines. But whatever it is, we all have them, and we don't all realize how powerful they can be. So yeah, so you've got your morning routine, your afternoon routine, your nighttime routine. So let's take a look. What do you do every day? So that's something you kind of have to start with your baseline and look at what you're doing. So we've got a few things will impact your productivity, creativity, happiness, and career trajectory, aka success, like building solid routines and habits. Thank you, Captain Obvious. According to studies, up to 40% of your daily actions are powered by habits. And for those of you unaware, according to studies, approximately 83.3% of statistics are made up on the spot. So, but this factor means that our subconscious mind can work for us or against us, depending on how we have our habits and routines set up. So, if you have a bad habit, you have a routine that's not working for you, it can actually work against you. So, you want to identify those and modify them. Lots of books. I always suggest you start with 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. There you go. So Kevin says that he's addicted to futures, and so he's on the computer at 5 a.m. and it's a habit. So there you go. Kevin said he was in the that's why you're in the 4 a.m. club, is because you're at the computer at 5. But that can be good because that's European market and eases into the beginnings of the US market. A lot of activity can be occurring in the futures at that time. So that's a good time to be in it, actually. But yeah, for those of you, anybody who has not read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I usually reread it every couple of years. Usually get a nugget here, a nugget there whenever I reread it. But it's a good oh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a good. I can't even think. Good way to go over it again, just to make it concrete. But here's some other people that can help you with self-improvement, productivity. Everybody I'm sure knows Tony Robbins. Brendan Burchard, who I've followed for a long time, is I call him Tony Robbins light. He's not quite as I don't know, has a nice way to say in your face as Tony. Tony, I've followed Tony. I've been to several of Tony's events, read most of his books. He's very passionate. Brendan is also very passionate. But oh, funny, Kevin. John DeMartini is really, really good. John Assaraf's really, really good. I like Mel Robbins. She does some great stuff. Gary V, a well-known name, I believe, and Bob Proctor, who RIP, rest in peace. But he's still got a lot of stuff out there. I think his foundation I think there's a foundation of his that kind of continues to put stuff out of his. But yeah, all of these are good. Lots of others out there besides these are just some of the big names that you probably have heard of or possibly have followed already. Let's see. So why follow a daily routine? So creativity, spontaneity, excitement. Our world is too full of them already, right? Especially distractions. Writers need to write, coders need to code, designers need to design, and traders need to trade. There you go, Jennifer. Dale Carnegie, Zig Ziglar, some more really good ones. Um, Beware of the productivity tools like email and instant messaging. I hope everybody knows what email is. Email is a list of someone else's objectives for you. So it's something we have to deal with, especially if we have a job. And it's just find a way to control it to work for you. We'll talk about that in a little bit more later. Routines help us prioritize what's important. Remember, I'm sure everybody's seen the chart of importance and urgency, and which quadrant a given task may land in. That's a really good exercise to figure out. Are you doing things that are urgent but not necessarily important? Because those can be those distractions that slow you down. You're always looking for very important stuff. Important and urgent is the most important. Is the most will give you the most bang for your buck. How about that? Knowing what you're doing each day helps you block distractions. Again, to stay away from those things that'll get in your way. Habits free up energy for more important tasks. One thing that whenever I read this, it makes me think of everybody has seen uh, um, Steve Jobs and how he dresses, and now you look at Zuckerberg and how he dresses. Others are very similar. They wear the same thing all the time. I've started following a guy recently. His name is Dan Martell. He says he only wears blue shirts. Now, it's not the same blue, but it's basically the same color. And that way that's a decision you don't have to make. It frees up your energy to do more important things. So, not necessarily something I do, but it can be helpful. Daily routines and habits boost your creativity. Habits and routines drive you forward. Who knows what BHAG means? Big, hairy, audacious goal. You should have at least one, if not multiples of those. So let's see, a starting point. So I'm going to give you some pointers on where you might be able to put together some strategies for yourself. So give yourself more time by waking up earlier, exactly what we were talking about before. And I thought, yep, kill that. Sorry. Um, Waking up earlier allows you to get more things accomplished. And a good way to do this is not to set an alarm to wake up early, but to set an alarm to go to bed. Go to bed at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock. I'm usually in bed between 9 and 10, unless we've got a late class, um, which happens, and then it's more like 10:30. But I usually wake up before my alarm goes off. Usually. I also use something called a sunlight alarm. For those of you not familiar with that, it's really cool. Instead of it going rah, 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 at you to wake you up, it comes on. It's a light, and it comes on very soft and gets brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. And it's kind of like the sun coming up, which is what we're used to, what our bodies are used to from generations and generations and generations, right? There you go, Jennifer. Sets an alarm to go to bed, but not working the plan. That's okay. It's progress, not perfection, right? So make your bed first thing. This you'll hear this. There's a reason that they make you do this in the military. Is all things the same. Once you've made your bed, you've accomplished something. You've done one thing. That's an accomplishment. You put it on your list. Um, it's just a good way to start the day. Set your most important tasks for the day. So sit down and figure out what's your most important task or tasks for the day, and you know what you're headed into. Connect with your bigger goals by journaling. Like if you have a really humongous, your BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal, you're not going to accomplish it overnight. But one thing I have found very effective is just to connect with it. Write it down, journal about it, talk to somebody about it. Any of those things that connect you to that. If you stay connected to it in your brain every day, it allows you to get there faster. Meditate to prepare for whatever the day brings. Who meditates? I try to meditate twice a day. I don't always make it. I meditate in the morning, and then I try and meditate in the evening. but sometimes I fall asleep. But that's okay. If you're meditating and you fall asleep, that means your body needed some sleep. So it's not bad. It's a sign like everything else. But meditations are really, really good. Lots of different ways to do them. I highly recommend that as well. And just put it in the old Google machine and you'll find all kinds of examples. YouTube videos, books, everything. So as we move into the workday, how about this? Skip email first thing. Now, you may not be able to do that depending on what you're doing, but if you can, skip it. Definitely don't look at it as soon as you get out of bed, but try and put it off as long as you can. Eat the frog. Tackle something difficult when your energy is highest because just by nature, your energy is going to dwindle as the day progresses. So do something big, hard that you don't want to do first thing because you'll have the energy to knock it out probably faster than you would if you wait. Schedule and take more breaks. So what I usually do is work 45 to 50 minutes and then I'll take 5 or 10 minutes and then repeat, rinse and repeat. Any Wheel of Fortune people know you've seen that one, right? Um, the Wheel of Fortune strategy, trading strategy, not the Wheel of Fortune game show. But anyway, um, find your sweet spot. It's not the same for everybody. 50-10 is a great place to start and figure out what you like. Batch similar work together. This is a big Tony Robbins thing. He's big on batching, putting things together in groups. So if you've got several different tasks related to coding, my other stream of income is programming. If I have a project and I have two or three, or if I have two or three projects and I have something that's common across them all, then I want to batch all that together, knock it all out at once. Set hard limits on certain activities. This is another big one. You'll see studies out there that talk about I forget what the rule is that's named after somebody. It's not Paragon, but it's something that starts with a P. Um, and it's his rule that a task takes as exactly as long as you lay out for it to take. So if you say I'll get that done by the end of the week, guess what? You'll finish it on Friday. If you say I'm going to get that done in an hour, you'll probably get it done in an hour. Now, granted, there are things that cannot physically be done in an hour, so you have to be realistic about it. But there's a difference between being realistic, being aggressive, and being a procrastinator, which I have a PhD in. So yeah, set hard limits for certain activities if you know what it's going to take. Schedule office hours. Create a schedule for when you're going to check your emails and your instant messages, especially throughout the day. Don't let that ping make you go to it. Let it kind of build up and communicate that to people who need to know it, whether it's your supervisor or your significant other or some partner in some uh, uh, um, project you've got going on, whatever. Use a productivity system to build a habit of staying organized. And here's mine. Oh, didn't have it out. Here's my magic book. This is a high performance planner. I got it through Brendan Burchard. It's been very effective to me. You open it up, there's several different things, but for the daily stuff, you can't see this really. But this is morning and this is evening. So I do it twice a day. So it helps me plan, helps me review and plan for the next day. There's a ton of them out there. You can use anything you want, but find something that works for you. All right. So now we come to the end. Again, the evening. So reflect on your accomplishments. Write down. This is one of the I get this from my high performance planner. Write down 3 good things that happened. Make space for mental solitude. It's important to kind of let your brain clear out. That's what sleep is all about. It's what meditation can help you with. Spend time on a hobby. Stop working so hard, you know? Spend some time with the pups. Oh, there was one behind me. She's gone. Spend some time with the pups. Spend some time with family and friends. Go play, you know, all kinds of things you can do. Prepare for tomorrow with a shutdown ritual. So a lot of people that work out first thing in the morning will lay out their workout clothes right before they go to bed. So that's a way of preparing for tomorrow with a shutdown ritual. So you don't have to think about anything. You get up, you put them on, you go. I prefer to work out a little bit later in the day. I do some movement exercises and flexibility stuff first thing in the morning, but my big workout is later. Um, oh, hello. There we go. Turn off your devices at least 30 minutes before bedtime. So this is a big oh, it's in the other room. I should have brought them in here. You want to reduce and eliminate as much blue light, which is what comes out of these and these monitors and those televisions. And it tells your brain to stay awake. Um, these are my, I thought I didn't think I'd go total Elton John with you today, but these are my yellow glasses that I wear to help clean out the dirty light. These come from TrueDark.com. It's Dave Asprey's company. I've got some that are red that are my nighttime glasses. And it's funny, I've been wearing them long enough that when I put them on, my brain starts to just shut down. I can be looking at a screen from a class at 10 o'clock and I'll go brush my teeth, get ready for bed, let the dogs out, do all the things I need to do right before I go to bed. And when I lay down and put on those glasses, I can still turn on the television and watch something just absolutely mindless. Or what I like to do too is to put on a black screen with funky sounds in the back of it. A lot of those out on YouTube, and I'm gone. So yeah, it's but yeah, you want to get rid of that light. That light is going to keep you awake, or it's going to make your sleep very restless. Uh, uh, Rob's talked about this, the Aura Ring. I love this thing. It's great for tracking your sleep. It's not as great for tracking other things. It does a good job with your activity, your steps and such, but it's super great with your internals because it's right up against. It's got the I just dropped it. It's got the sensors right here. You can't really see that. And they go right up against it. I wear a really tight one and it goes right up against your skin. It tracks heartbeat and variability, heart rate variability, which is another important measure. Tracks your sleep really well and it gives you a report on your phone. You can put it in airplane mode if you're worried about the waves, and then it'll collect all the information, and then you turn it back on at night in the morning, and it'll download everything to your phone. Shows you light sleep, REM sleep, deep sleep. So it's cool ring, cool app. Definitely recommend it. Oops. So that's a good way to kind of shut everything down. So I wanted to add one more thing that's just kind of a side note, but still very, very important is energy and health. And do you have routines about around this? Like give your eyes regular breaks. And there's different ways to do this. A lot of people don't blink enough. I don't blink enough. I get into something and I realize when I start crying, my eyes start watering. I haven't blinked. You want to blink? You want to do distance and close. You want to look off into the distance at something very, very far away, and then look at something really, really close, and then do that several times. 20 is, oh shoot, now I can't remember what that is. Look it up. It's a good one. but just different ways to rest and strengthen your eyes. So you don't have to wear these, if you're young, maybe you can not have to wear these. Drink more water during the day. Talked about this a little bit earlier. Water is super, super important. I even, you see me drinking this. This is water. This is not soda. This is bubbly water. So, I do drink flat water. I drink a lot more flat water, but I like the bubbles as well. Uh, Move or exercise regularly, and I'm big on this. You hear everybody says exercise, exercise. I think it's more important to move, to move your body, move your joints, because if you keep them stagnant, guess what? They're going to stay stagnant. You're going to get arthritis and all kinds of bad things. It helps your flexibility. You know, do this. Do a squat. Like when you work for 45 minutes, you take your 5 minute break, walk away, come back for 5 minutes, just do some shoulder exercises, do some squats, some things like that. And then you're ready to go, get back into the work. So just some things to do, and as you see, I am standing. I do not sit. I rarely sit when I'm working. A lot of people will tell you, sit for 45 minutes and get up for 15. I used to do the exact opposite. I actually got at my old job. I got them to give us articulating desks so that we could go. And I was the only one that ever used them, I think. But I would stand for 45 minutes and sit for 15. I was doing the exact. And now I'm to the point to where I don't usually sit down. I'll take probably 4 breaks throughout the day where I'll sit on this. There's a couch right behind me. I'll sit on the couch and watch something educational on the YouTube, learn something throughout the day, or I watch China Update, Market Update. Some people I really like, Ryan Macbeth, Peter Zion, Dan Martell, Tony Robbins, lots of good stuff out there. Anyway, Dave Asprey. So, thank you. With or without bubbles. There you go. Um, so eat as clean as you can. You hear people talk about that. It's just processed food. It's been proven, processed food, big food is no better for us than big pharma, than big oil. Oh, thanks, David. Um, you know, Big is usually in the best interest of whatever that is, as opposed to the best interest of us. So we have to look out for our own best interest. And that's drinking water and exercising and eating clean. And it doesn't have to be, hey, I like to go to Five Guys or Moe's. I don't know how many of you have been to Moe's. It's a burrito place. I go out to eat like everybody else. And maybe that's not the best choice, but I don't do it for every single meal. I make most of my meals here. I get all of my meat through Butcher Box. I get a box where I think we're getting ready to. Yeah, we start this week actually. I get it's called a CSA share from a local farm. You get a box of vegetables, fruits and vegetables from a local farm uh, every other week. Um, it's all organic stuff, but it's local. That's what I like about it. But yeah, things like that, that can help you eat, like I said, as clean as you want. If you want, there's a guy, Dr. Barry. He is so funny. He's actually from upper middle Tennessee. He's got a big YouTube channel. And he says, if you want to eat oh, what was it? Grass fed, grass finished, panda massaged beef. And of course, yes, that is a sarcastic remark, which is probably why I like him so much. But anyway, go for it. if you want to get 70/30 at Walmart because that's all you can afford, then that's what you should do. But there everything is a word that just left my brain. A continuum. And just do as good as you can, as well as you can. So, all right. Here are some types of routines you might want to consider. A morning routine, obviously, an evening routine, an organizational routine. How organized are you? A nutritional routine, as we just talked about, with your food and your water. An exercise routine, or as I like to call it, a movement routine. Just make sure you're moving. If you can't do strenuous exercise yet, start with movement. Um, Start with light stuff and work your way up. A relationship routine. Do you have a routine around your relationships, friends, family, significant other, whatever? Energy routine. I'm big on energy. There's a guy out there whose name escapes me who has his, if you look up the energy blueprint, you will find him. Really good stuff. A lot of stuff about saunas, which Rob is big on, red light, exercise and movement, things like that. Really cool. And then what about religious or spiritual routine? Do you have routines around that kind of stuff? Like if you're a religious slash Christian type person, maybe you go to Sunday school or church every Sunday. That's a routine. So, make sure that you have some sort of routine around that. And as I will give full credit, there you go, Ari Witten. Thank you, Helen. He is so awesome. I can't believe I lost his name, but I got so many names going through my head trying to remember everybody. Thank you. Um, and I give full credit where credit is due. This came from Trader Will in the inner circle. When we went through this, he said, "You know what that sounds like? That sounds like mind, body, and soul." I was like, "That's cool. That's going on the presentation next time." And that's really what it's about, trying to feed and improve those major facets of your life. So, this came up actually in, I think, Trading You a few days ago with Rob. We were talking about things. And for those of you unfamiliar with The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, very good book. He's got several other books. I think this is the Monday Morning Miracle or something, but there's a whole bunch of miracles. But I think this was the first one. It was the first one I read. But he talks about SAVERS, which is an acronym for his morning routine, the Miracle Morning. So we start with silence, which can be meditation or reflection, whatever you want it to be. It's some of these are rather general for on purpose because you want to do. It's kind of like you've heard me say a million times, find you as a trader. Okay, find you as a, whatever, meditator, exerciser, eater, you know. Um, find what works for you. A's affirmations. We've talked about that. Make sure that you are doing affirmations to affirm what you are doing and that you will be successful at it. And the V is visualizations. And the way that I save a little time with my savers is I do my affirmations and my visualizations together at the same time. So that saves me a few minutes because all this stuff can take a lot of time. So that's why you want to find what works for you. Uh, um, and I think it was Mark Twain that says, "Take what you like and throw away the rest." And I'm a big believer in that. Exercise is E. And for me in the morning, as I said earlier, it's about the movement. It's just about making sure I'm moving, making sure I can do the things I need to do. Reading, very good. I have several morning readers that I might read from one or more than one of them. Where is it? Uh-oh. I didn't read this morning, unfortunately. There's one, it's from Think and Grow Rich. That's really, really good. I won't show you my other two. They're a little personal. But anyway, find yourself a morning reader that just it basically gives you a page or two for each day. It's kind of like a calendar. And then, of course, scribing, which is writing, which is journaling, however you want to do it. So yeah, so it's a good little thing. I recommend that as well. So, as with everything, have a plan, create reminders, and start small. Don't try and do everything. Just try something. Do one thing. Add meditation. If you don't meditate, add meditations. So, to finish up, I wanted to give you some more resources. So, lots of resources online. Like I said, you can search meditation, stress relief, anxiety. Joe Dispenza is a really good one. He's got some really good meditations. I like his walking meditation that I used to do more regularly in the evenings when I would walk the dogs and do this meditation. Lots of good meditation apps, Headspace, Calm, Simple Habit, pick one. I know you've heard Rob talk about this before. Wim Hof, big into Wim Hof with the breathing. Great way to start your day and just get your energy going along with a cold plunge if you dare. Or at least turn the cold water on in the shower for a minute to a minute and a half. Tapping. Anybody familiar with tapping? Tapping. It's I think it's also in the books. The Tapping Solution is their website. We'll get to it in the next page. And then here's a whole bunch of people to choose from. Tim Ferriss, Andrew Huberman is awesome. Andrew Weil, Tom Bilyeu, Life Hack, Ben Greenfield, Dave Asprey. What's that? My phone just reacted to something I said. Anyway, there you go, Helen. So here you go. The Tapping Solution by Nick Ortner, another name I couldn't think of. And then here's a whole bunch of stuff around psychology and discipline in trading. As you know, any of you have been in class with me, that's one of my favorite phrases. Trade disciplined out there. So yeah, these are some of my favorite books around trading. So remember, I always finish off with an extra slide. Trading decisions should be made as unemotionally as possible. And this is where a lot of these habits and routines can help you to control your emotions. You can't do it unemotionally. You want to do it as unemotionally as possible. But I really like something that Ryan talked about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, was maybe not unemotional, but maybe you want to find emotions that serve you and try to mitigate emotions that don't serve you. So, you want to mitigate fear. You want to embrace calm. So, there you go. Yeah, cool. A lot of great information. Thank you, Jennifer. That's exactly what it's supposed to be. So yeah, let's do this. So now that we've got a few minutes left, as with most everybody else, does anybody have a candidate that they would like me to go look at? Bang. All right. So let's take a look at this. So Brenda put in SPY and AMD, two of my faves. All right, so let's go to this tab and we shall look at SPY. So this is the daily for SPY. Looks exactly like the SPX, right? You're very welcome, Andreas. Good to see you. So one thing, please note, the 55 dipped below the 21 a couple days ago. So the SPY is officially true bullish. For those of you that don't know what bias is, go check it out somewhere. but it's a bullish bias because it's above all the moving averages. When the averages are in line, which means the 8 is above the 21 and the 21 is above the 55 and the price is above all that, that's what we call true bullish. So it is true bullish. So that opens us up to some bullish full position activity. Now, I'm really still interested to see what that, you know what, let's do something a little different. I'm going to take Omega charts away because I only use Omega charts for end of day. So let's take a look. This is my morning screen. That's really busy, right? Here's the old SPY. Let's do a maximize and an auto zoom, and you can kind of see where it took that big spike from the U.S. UK trade deal news on Monday, and then it just kind of followed through. So it looks pretty good. So let's take a look at the last 2 days. This is a 5-minute chart. You can see where SPY makes some good moves in the mornings. This morning we had a little bit of a rollover. This was where I was playing, was in the first part of the morning. But interesting to see it start to move up out of even through lunch. So it's sitting on that 8 for the 5-minute chart. So that's kind of a decision point, and we're moving in towards 1 o'clock. So sometime between 1:30 and 2 o'clock, you'll see the traders coming back from lunch, 2 to 2:30. You'll see the trading volume start to pick up. That'll give you an idea of where it's headed. So as far as let's do this. I don't have a fib on this chart, but this is the old fib from before. If we pull this apart, so as we can see, we got a big movement there. That is 60. We're looking at, yeah, we need, is that right? Yeah, okay, that's right. We need an 882. We need that fibit in there, and we'll use the black one. So we can see that's going to be our next target, that 597.98, we'll call it. That's going to be our next target. And the one after that's going to be that 613.23, which is our all-time high. Now, if it does roll over, we're going to run into a lot of resistance right here at the 582 and the 8 moving average kind of coming up together. I'd really like to see this thing move down today and maybe on Monday bounce and take off. But, you know, what I like isn't always what happens. We trade what the market gives us, right? So the problem right now is the SPY's in the middle of nowhere as far as its grade. But as you can see with the daily, it is moving. So this is going to be more of a day trade type stuff right now. Looks like it could be good for some swing trades once it makes a decision. 598, 605, and 613. That sounds good. That's what Brenda's saying she has on her SPY. So let's take a look at AMD. One of my faves. Let's see. So, this is a trade that we looked at in, was this Mastermind? Yeah, this was Mastermind. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete that. Oh, this didn't take. There we go. Just to kind of get some of this out of the way. There we go. I'm going to leave the 3 lines just because they're not that important. There we go. So we'll blow it up. As you can see for today, started off the day, it was in a great position, super great position. It got up above, came back and touched. That was our entry. So we kind of missed our entry today. One thing to be careful of, the 8 is a little bit far away, but with it being at the top of the fib, we've got nowhere to go. Now we can always look at old fibs. If we take this old fib and pull it apart, we can see we've got a 122 and a 129.5. So those are probably going to be our most likely targets next up on AMD. Another thing we can do if we want to find some targets, let's blow this up so we can see it a little better, is we'll use the old ABC tool and we'll go from A to B to C. And I have that set. Let's take the 236 off. We've got the 618 and the 1, but where are they? Huh. Okay. Oh, shoot. Come on. There we go. It's got 618 and the 1. Okay, but I don't see them. Oh, you know what? They're up here. That's what I'm missing. Okay. So let's reset this. Oh, this is not working. I do not know what is wrong with my Omega charts. Those are still those same lines. Okay, let's do this. Get rid of it. Maybe using the wrong one. Nope, that's not it. Oh, there it is. No, let's do this. There it is. I'm sorry. So that is the wrong direction. So we don't want to do that. But what we can do, we can stack. Like I said, the easiest thing to do is just to use an old fib. And we've got this 0 line from our old fib and a 118 from our old fib. Let's see. Let's do that. So those are some good targets for AMD. Definitely would like to see another bounce, but we could see an entry here because we've got our bounce. It's just going to be late on a late entry. You want to make sure that you're doing aggressive position size. So you can wait for another retest or you could do something aggressive. All right, so let's take a look at Vago. Oh, okay. So Meta and Avago. Let's look at Avago first. Let's reset this so we can see what we're doing. There we go. So Avago certainly tested that minus 618, but it never closed below. Who sees one cautionary tale about Avago? Bum, bum, bum. We got earnings on the 5th of June. I believe that's right. Let's go look over here. And yes, 5th of June. And this 6th of June, that is 21 days from today. I reset that Thursday evenings for my Covered Call Explorer update so that I've got 21 days out from when we would be getting into the trades, which would be today. So definitely want to watch out for that. That means day trades only. But with Avago, we're kind of, again, we're hanging out in the middle of nowhere of these. Let's see. So we've got 23 and 17 is 15. That's really close. We don't need a Fibit, but I'm a little bit different with my Fibits. Sometimes I put them in there when we don't need them. And since we're looking at 15 and we need 16 and a half for a Fibit, that is so close. I'm going to put it in just to see what it does. And lo and behold, that's where we've been hanging out all week. So maybe it is important. So let's pull this down so we can kind of see what we're doing. Oh, it's 1 o'clock. So we can see what we're doing here. So we're looking at an upside target of 238. And the next one up, let's see, do we have 240? That's 241, 241 and a half is what I would take for the next target. For the downside, you're looking at 224, and then you're going to run into that 8 at 222. So anywhere in that zone, you're probably not going to get a second target with that much resistance. You might. So there's some targets for that. And then last one, Meta, which I don't look at that much anymore. It is a super tradable stock. So let's do that. And that puts us, I think that's going to be a decent fib. That's 30, and we got 23 as our true range. So that's a nice little fib right there. So we're in a good position. We started off really good, but we broke through that 618 and have not made it back up. So what we might be looking for, how far up did we get? We got to a high today of 639.80. That's close. Is it close enough? You have to kind of decide that for yourself. You got some resistance here at the 8. It touched it. That's the problem. We've got a squeeze going on between the 8 and the 618, the 8 moving average and the 618 fib. So we might be better off waiting on Meta to get above the 618 and take off, or get below the 8 and fail. So that one's a little tough. For a day trade, it might be okay. We didn't do this for the other ones. Let's go over here and take a look at Meta on a 5-minute chart. Ooh, look at that. So we had a gap. We had a gap down from yesterday that we have not filled, but we're not getting close. Look, that's going flat, but it is lunch. So we had a big give back right here. That would have been nice. We got back about 2/3 of the way to there, and then the lunch bell rang and we're flat. So let's see what it does after lunch. There might be an afternoon trade there, but There you go, Jennifer. I love it. Jennifer says, I think it will go back up, but I'm not supposed to think. Laugh out loud. Just watch what's happening, right? Exactly. You are exactly right. So Meta delay and AI rollout to maybe fall. So that could very well be this right here. You're exactly right, Jennifer. So when you know that news is out there, you want to start looking for things like this. I'm not sure when that announcement was made. That could have been this one or both. You know, this could be the people that heard it, and this could be the people that heard it late. So anyway, I hope everybody got some good stuff out of this. And thanks for coming out. And I am going to let Andrew get back to his job at Wealth Builders. Thank you. Thank you for all the kudos. And we will see everybody whenever we see you next. Thank you, everybody.